I was doing some research yesterday for a blog post that I'm doing around men and writing, and it's connected to the cards that I'm doing, which is my little kind of contribution to the process of starting a journaling practice. Now, journaling has always been a big issue for me around mental health. It's been like my go-to thing to get things out of my head and to basically help me process my emotions and my stories and what I tell myself, and help me kind of process what of that is true and what of it is what of it is things I believe. Now, in that process of research yesterday, I found that there were two numbers that really shocked me. The first one is that 40% of men do not ever speak to anybody about their feelings. Now, at first I thought, well, that's not so bad. That means 60% of men are talking to somebody. But then I kind of processed the number differently, and I realized it means if I look at 3 male friends of mine, one of them has never ever spoken to anybody about their emotions. And I know how important it is for me to have a chance to just to talk about it and just realize that I'm not alone in it, and just having somebody to speak to about how you feel can alleviate so much stress and tension and anxiety. So it was really a heavy thing to realize. And then the other side of it is 77% of suicides in the UK are men. And this is something that I think we need to just be more open about, because this manning it up and like stuffing all your emotions down there like, they'll never be seen again, is not a viable strategy anymore. I mean, not to say that it ever was, but we live in a time when it is possible to actually take some action and to process things. So I guess all I want to say is that if you are one of those guys out there who has never ever spoken to anybody, just try. Just find some place online to start with and just say how you feel, or pick up pen and paper and write something down about how shit things are sometimes and how you feel about it, and burn the paper. Make sure nobody ever sees it again if that's what you're worried about. But just take one small step today that can start the process of getting used to voicing how you feel. I don't think that group of 40% of men who've never spoken to anybody about their emotions are just suddenly going to go and start a journaling practice and everything's going to be amazing. I don't think they're going to suddenly go out and book 10 therapy sessions. It just isn't reasonable to expect somebody to go from nothing to 100 in 0 seconds. So I think the key thing is to look at this from a problem perspective and say, okay, the problem here is that men don't have a safe space to express themselves in, and then figure out what does a safe space look like, and not from the perspective of the ideal, hippie, I'm going to hold space for you kind of thing, but go, well, what's the first natural step for these guys to take? And I do think that the first natural step is most likely to acknowledge that, to look at yourself and go, I realize, shit, I actually feel a lot, but I don't want to admit it and I don't want to tell anyone, for example. That first step is going to be huge. And then from there, figure out what is the following step. And that's going to be different for different people. Some might realize, actually, I'm going to be brave and I'm going to talk to a friend of mine. And for somebody else, it might be, I'm going to talk to my girlfriend, my wife, my boyfriend, whatever. And then start that process just step by step. But the main thing is, we need to stop the silence, because the silence is literally killing people.